Hey guys, this is Jake here at Canadian Cutting Edge. It's supposed to be Wee Wednesday. Well, this isn't wee in the sense of W-E-E, really small, tiny, but it is a little bit on the smaller side. This is the M21-G for green. They've got a -B for black G10. A little multi-tool knife. So that's what we're looking at today. We've got Sandvik 12C27 steel, just like an awful lot of the Ruike folders. They've got a wide variety. I think they've got like 25 different, that's a rough number, knives of this style in several different sizes. And this is the middle size that we have today. It's a slip joint. There's a bit of a spring to help pull it, all the way out, and it holds it from closing accidentally. But of course it can be overcome and then closed. And there's other tools on here as well, even a pocket clip, which is kind of new and I really like on these little older style folding knives, pocket knives, if you will. So stick around and we're going to take a not too long, but a good look at the Ruike M21 coming at you right now. Hi guys, this is Jake at Canadian Cutting Edge, and we're looking at the M21 today. This comes from Ruike, Canada. They've got that's a distributor for Ruike knives here in Canada, and they sell to the United States and America. This little company, or this little distributor store, is happy to deal with you, because if you spend $100, they'll ship it to you for free, United States or Canada. And we all know how knives can end up equaling $100 pretty soon, but they've got knives that are anywhere down, around the $25 mark up to, the low hundreds. And there's an awful lot that's under $100 that they have. So there's a good market for their knives, and we're going to look at the M21-G today. This is a multi-tool. We've got, other extra tools on the back here. And of course, we've got a blade and more. So stick around, and we're going to take a good look at the M21 by Ruike Knives coming at you right now. Before we get started, one little commercial break for Canadians only. I wanted to buy my wife an iTunes gift card so that she could go and buy some songs and stuff. And I ended up buying her an Apple gift card. So it's not for anything with iTunes, but it's for Apple stuff. It's just $25 because that's what she asked for, but we can't use it. And I'm having a terrible time trying to figure out how to return it. So what I'll do is I'll just sell it to somebody. And it's just an email gift card. So I email you the number, and you can use it and apply it to your Apple account. So if there's anybody who wants a $25 gift card, and I'll sell it for $20, the first one in gets it. Just email me at CanadianCuttingEdge@gmail.com, and we'll make that arrangement. Sorry to everybody else. We're looking today at this knife. We've got a knife that's got some nice G10 texture on the sides. It's flat, but it's a little bit of a texture to it. And both sides have got that same G10. We've got a deep carry pocket clip on one side only, and it's very functional. It doesn't get hot in the pockets, and because it folds over on the top there, it doesn't get hot in the hands either, and it's just very functional. Let's do the less significant stuff first. This is the part that I like the least, or just appreciate the least. I just don't have any use for a corkscrew. I don't remove corks. And these used to be a staple, especially when you go back more than 200 years. Before there was caps on bottles, every kind of bottle of every kind of liquid was a cork, basically. And so it used to be that these were very, very useful. And nowadays, they're basically just, the expensive wine is what you need for these. Your basic wines already come with a screw top bottle. Of course, not all of them, but... So, corkscrew, it works. I would rather have an awl there, or, a screwdriver of some sort, but it is what it is. What else do we have around here? Well, we've got a set of pliers. Now this set of pliers is pretty small, but it's a whole lot bigger than a lot of pliers that you can get. Tweezers, not pliers, tweezers on these knives. So, it's very convenient for picking up stuff. You can grab really tiny amounts. Let's see, I don't know if you could see right there that I grabbed the skin actually. Right there, yep. So it's a good little tweezer. It's well made and it stores very well in the side right there. So that's a good thing. We've got a glass breaker, and I don't know if we can tell in the light here or not. Maybe you can. It's a slightly different color at the tip. And that's because it's a carbide, very, very hard. So that tip makes it easy to break glass. You don't need a great big chunky piece. So that's all of that stuff. And what do we have here? We've got a nice snap, but it's not locking. It just holds it with a nice amount of spring. We've got a flat driver. You can use it to pry as well. We've got a bottle opener and what people call a wire stripper, although with no sharp edges anywhere. That is after the wire's been started, you pull it off that way, but you're not going to start any process with that smooth little hole. So, and that works very well. Nice and strong, thick steel, and it's sturdy, well made. On this side, we've got almost my favorite tool on this knife. We've got a blade that's a nice serrations on a bit of a recurve. And that's great for cutting all kinds of rope and stuff. And then we've got this narrow spot here for this small little flat or standard, but it's a little rounded. But very functional for, getting under stuff and, some smaller prying. But I really like that serrated blade there. Another thing back here is that little thing, and that's a lanyard. And that tip there is just to make it easy to pull out and get started. And so now you can tie it off anywhere you want. So, and the way that works is I've got a similar knife here that has one of those right there. And, it's just tied off like that. This, by the way, is a Boker knife, and they are very much the same as these. So these two knives here, let's see if I got it turned the right way. There we go. Are almost exactly the same size and the same configuration. This one's got tip up and tip down for the pocket clip, and this one's just got tip up, but very, very similar indeed. So that's what we've got here. And the last thing that we've got left is your main blade. It's a hollow grind, nice blade, and works very well. 12C27 Sandvik steel. And it's a great little slicing knife, nice and thin behind the grind. Well, why don't we do the measurements right now? Let's zoom on in. The cutting edge is 6.8 centimeters, 2.68 inches. The blade length, so from the tip to the G10, 7.2 centimeters, 2.83 inches, so well within that 3 inch law. The blade thickness is 2.5 millimeters, that's 0.0985 inches. The blade depth, right there, is 1.63 centimeters, that's 0.64 of an inch. The thickness of the edge behind the grind, 0.33 millimeters, a third of a millimeter thick. That's 0.0125 inches, very thin. That makes this an excellent slicing knife, although I do think it might make it just slightly weaker than it needs to be right at the cutting edge. But this one hasn't chipped or cracked or rolled or had any evidence of any problems yet. So maybe I'm just assuming there's going to be a problem when there isn't really going to be. The grind angle on this side that says rake, they ground it to 21.7 degrees. This other side, they were much more shallow and they did it at 17 degrees. So could use some work on their final grinds, but it's not terrible. I've had a whole lot of knives that are a whole lot worse. I have since sharpened this to 20 degrees per side, and it works very well now. It worked, excellent before, and they did a good finish to it. It just wasn't exactly even one side to the other. The handle length is 9.28 centimeters. That's 3.65 inches. And then the grip area, so I measured, where the knife curves there and where it curves right there, 8.4 centimeters, 3.3 inches. The handle thickness, not counting the pocket clip, is 1.39 centimeters, 0.55 of an inch. And the handle depth, with the tool sticking out, and this final blade sticks out just a tiny bit in some spots, that is 2.29 centimeters, 0.9 of an inch. The total length of this knife with the blade deployed is 16.6 centimeters, which is 6.5 inches long. It weighs 87 grams, which is 3.05 ounces. So barely over 3 ounces in weight. Very, very nice. How much does this knife cost? Well, it's around $32.43 American, $42.95 Canadian, around 28.88 euros, and around 25.23 British pounds. And remember, you get free shipping if you spend $100. So, 2.5 knives like this, but you can't buy a half a knife, and you're there. So this is the season for getting Christmas gifts. If you're looking for something smaller, like this one, this is their S series, the S11. It's, a whole lot smaller, but it's, a very nice one. And they've got various versions with tools or without tools. This one's just a blade, but you can get it with or without tools. They've got another size larger, although I don't have it here right now. So look at that. That is this big. That's the next size up. And that's the L41. So M21, S11, L41. This size, although a different shape, this is a San Remo knife. I don't have that rake knife that's that size in stock right now. But you got loads of options with lots of different sizes, and that's a really good thing coming from a company like Rake Knives. These knives are already in the country, so you order them, you'll get them in time for Christmas, and now is a good time to get started on that. I like the deep pocket clip. I'll show you on a pair of pants. It just slides right in there, and there you go. Nice tools. Let's cut some things with these things. Got some paper here. Anywhere you start on the knife, it just goes. It's a good knife that just cuts very, very well. And the other tools are very handy as well. I told you I was going to show you a little bit with some rope. So let's try that out right now. Hopefully I'll stay on screen with this. I'm going to zoom back out. Okay. So holding the knife, holding the blade, and trying to hold the rope. And let's see what this does. There you go. Took a little bit of sawing motion. Didn't take a lot of work, and it's through. It also works very well for seat belts or anything. A nice safety tip so you don't puncture somebody's skin if you need to. If you need to rescue somebody in a hurry, a little blade like that can come in extra handy. So there you go. I really like these. The price is right. The warranty's great. You got 5 years, parts and labor, and then lifetime, just the parts. You pay for the labor. Good knife. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And remember, guys, always cut towards your chum and not your thumb. Bye now.